cooking food in the wild can be a bit of a challenge. I mean, the typical image that you get in your head when you talk about cooking food in the wild is that you make up a fire, right? With firewood, and you have a big fire burning, and with the big fire you have lots of heat, and then people are not patient to hold their food at a distance where it gets heated incrementally, slowly. So with all the heat, you put your sausage in the fire and it goes black on the outside and raw on the inside. Or you put your frying pan in the middle of the fire and the oil starts burning, and yeah. Uh, if you're gonna cook food over an open fire, you should be a little bit more patient. Uh, and you should realize where the heat has a proper temperature at a certain distance from the fire. But many times we don't really need to make a fire to cook food, because usually we will bring, when we go out hiking, we'll just bring some dehydrated food, right? So all we need to do is boil some water and rehydrate our food and eat it. And then there are also a lot of times when we're not able to make a fire. Maybe it's been raining, so it's very wet and it's going to be difficult to light a fire. Maybe we are in the mountains with no firewood, so we don't really have access to fuel in the same way. Maybe it's a time of the year where it's very dry and we're not allowed to make a big fire. So for all those reasons and a few more, we will carry our own kitchen with us in the backpack. And that is how we will usually cook our food, is to use our kitchen. So there are many different options for field kitchens that you can bring with you. The most popular one in Sweden is Trangia. And I used to have a Trangia kitchen, but I misplaced it, or I lost it. I don't know where it is. But actually, I'm kind of glad that I lost my Trangia kitchen, because when I started looking around to buy a new field kitchen, I found the Esbit kitchens, and in my opinion, the Esbit kitchens are way superior to the Trangia kitchens, because the Trangia kitchens are big and bulky, and they weigh a lot, and you don't need to have that big of a kitchen with you, usually. I mean, the benefit of having a big kitchen like a Trangia kitchen is that you could cook food for 2 or 3 or 4 people in one kitchen, and then if you are several people walking together, then only one person has to carry the kitchen. But at the same time, maybe you want to eat different food. Maybe you want to eat something else than I want to eat. Maybe, maybe we want to cook potatoes in one pot, and we want to cook whatever condiments, like fry up some meat or whatever we want to use with the potatoes, or rice, or so sometimes you want to have 2 pots to cook the food anyway, right? So that means that usually it's going to be better if we carry our own kitchen. And then we should just have a small kitchen for one person, because if we cook rice in one pot and meat in the other pot, then the one person's kitchen is still going to be enough for the 2 of us, right? So yeah, we're just going to use the one person kitchens from Esbit, which are a bit smaller but lighter weight, so we don't have to carry so much, and we will carry one kitchen each. Now I have 2 different models of kitchens from Esbit. One of them is a titanium kitchen. Titanium is very strong very lightweight metal. So this will withstand pretty much anything, and it's still super lightweight. And it comes with a little stand for the Esbit solid fuel tablets. And this one only weighs, in total, 133 grams for this entire kitchen. The other kitchen weighs a lot more. It weighs 300 and... no, actually it weighs 410 grams. But the benefit of this other kitchen is that you can use two different types of fuels. You have the solid fuel Esbit tablets, and then you have the alcohol stove to burn alcohol. Ethanol. If you would, I mean, you can't use this one for ethanol. So if you just compare this kitchen's, the aluminum kitchen with just the Esbit solid fuel, like this one, then this one is 133 grams, and the aluminum kitchen is 315 grams. So, I mean, the aluminum kitchen is more than twice as heavy. And part of the difference is that it's aluminum and this is titanium, and titanium is just lighter. Other part of the difference is that they used a bit more material in the holder. This one includes a windscreen, which you really should have, but because if the wind is blowing, it's just gonna steal away all the heat that you're trying to add and boil the water. So if you're somewhere where there's a bit of wind, you should just use branches or stones or something to build around this kitchen. But you can get that in the field, so it's not really a big problem. This one, you carry your windshield with you, which I guess could be a good thing. Because you don't need to find something to build up around it. But anyway, this one also has a bit bigger pot for cooking, and the handles are covered with some plastic or silicone or something, so that you don't burn your fingers when you pick it up. And also, I mean, when you cook water, you always want to use a lid, because otherwise the heat escapes and it will take longer time and you need more fuel to boil. With this a bit heavier set, the lid can be used as a frying pan. So if you want to fry up something, then you could use that. So this kitchen is a bit more versatile, and I like it mostly because you can use the alcohol stove. I'm not too fond of using the solid fuel tablets, even though they're very lightweight, because they smell so bad and it's very strong chemicals. Yeah, it's good to have the option of choosing which one you want. Now this alcohol burner that you use for boiling the water, this is made of brass, and brass is a heavy metal, a rather comparatively heavy metal. So what is very popular in the US, I think, you see a lot of YouTube videos at least of people in the US, they, instead of using this brass burner, they take a aluminum can, which they cut off so that it's a lot shorter, so it becomes the same kind of size, and then they drill the holes around the edge in the bottom here, and they drill a big hole in the middle of the bottom to get the same kind of functionality that you have. I mean, the idea with alcohol stove like this is that you fill it with alcohol, you light the alcohol in the middle, and when that starts burning, the entire container becomes hot. And when the container becomes hot, the alcohol will start to evaporate. And then there are a lot of holes around the edge here, so the evaporating alcohol from inside will start to push out through these holes as a gas. So you have sort of a gas burner, I guess, because the gas is pushed out in these holes, the ethanol gas. And that makes the ethanol burn a lot more efficiently because it's gaseous form. So you get a higher temperature and yeah. But I mean, the American way of making a lightweight aluminum can into a burner, I'm not sure that it saves weight actually, because when you make a burner like this, you have to burn all the fuel that you put in it. If your water starts boiling and yeah, you're just done, it doesn't matter, you still have to burn all the fuel that's left. When I have this burner, if everything's done, my water is boiling, I don't need the burner anymore, I can just put the lid on, the fire will go out, and I have the other lid with a sort of a rubber pack, whatever you call it in English, that I can just screw on. And if there's alcohol left, I can save that for the next time, which means that I will not consume as much fuel. So even though this one is heavier than the can would be, this one will save me fuel, and I think that might save more weight in the long run, actually. But anyway, I don't know. I think it's not too heavy. It's 100 grams for one of these burners, and it's not that bad, I don't think. So it's fine. Anyway, when we cook our food, when we're done, we can just pack this up like so. We put the handles in, and it's very compact. When you burn this, I mean, it's a fire burning under here. This will, I mean, this is new because I just bought it, but this will become black with soot from the burning fire. So typically you don't want to put this directly into your backpack. So you have a bag like this, you put it in. Just to keep all your other things from getting dirty. Oh, I put it inside out, whatever. Now, we need a few other things for our kitchen. For example, we need some cutlery. So again, we want to save weight, so these are plastic cutlery, but also they're spork. So we're not wasting any weight carrying around the handle. So sometimes the handle is for a spoon, and sometimes the handle is for a fork. And we can just eat our food. And then we're done. Sometimes, if we go for just a shorter hike, like a day hike, We can use a meal set that has a bit more. I mean, this is just a plate and some stuff, and this weighs 350 grams, so it's the same as carrying the entire kitchen. So I mean, we don't want to carry 350 grams around usually if we go for a longer hike. But if we go for a short hike, or if we are traveling with the car somewhere and want to stop to eat some of our own food instead of going to a restaurant, then instead of eating directly from the cooking pot, you can bring something like this, where we have something to drink from, a cup. We have a closed container for food, or I mean, we could just use this container for food, or we could use that one. There's something like you can use it for cutting. There's like a cheese grater or something. This is probably entirely useless most of the time, but yeah, it's here. So there might be some point in time where we take advantage of that. But most of all, it has these small containers. One with the screw cork, maybe for some oil or I don't know, something. And then just for spices, you just easily fill it up. And you got some salt or pepper or whatever spice you want to put in here. So actually, we might want to just bring this one with our kitchen. But yeah, at least we have these sets that we could use potentially if we want to. But most of the time, I don't think we're going to want to carry this around because it's just a lot of unnecessary weight. After we're done cooking, we want to do the dishes. And doing the dishes directly in the water is usually not such a good idea, because we're gonna get our drinking water from the stream where we're at, and we want the drinking water to be clean. We don't want to put too much soap or whatever else in there. So just to help keep everything clean, we got a bucket. So this is a folding bucket. We can just use this to get our water. We carry the water with us, and we can do the dishes in this. And after we've done the dishes, we just fold it up again. It takes very little space. It doesn't weigh almost anything. And it's generally just a kind of nice thing to have. Now, another thing that is kind of nice is, I mean, for example, if we want to bring ketchup, we don't want to bring a 1 liter bottle of ketchup. So some condiments we want to bring in smaller bottles. So I bought some silicone bottles like this. It's very easy to squeeze, and you can get everything out of it because it's soft. And yeah, they don't weigh too much. This is just 80 milliliter bottles. For some spices or something, you might want to get something like this. This is actually travel kit for the airplane, 100 milliliter containers, because that's what you're allowed to take on a plane nowadays. I mean, this can be used for oil or whatever else you want to use in cooking. One great way of using these traveling kits is there's a spray bottle. I guess this is supposed to be hairspray or something. But this is something that you can actually use to put oil in, because if you bring the frying pan, you can just, or whatever, I don't need to show that, but just use the spray to spray the frying pan with oil. Not that we don't need to have a fat-free diet, because we're going to spend a lot of energy walking anyway. So we don't need to worry about eating healthy or something like that, because we're going to be living healthy anyway. But just to reduce the amount of weight we carry, instead of just using lots of fat when we're cooking, we can just use the spray bottle. I mean, you could also use this to dish out fish sauce or whatever else you want to bring, but yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, that's about it about the kitchen. It's rather simple compared to the kitchens we have at home, but that's sort of the deal you have to accept when you're out in the wild. Right? You're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of comfort. But yeah, this works really well.